have you ever seen the movie Handmaid's Tale?
Oh God, yes.
Okay, so to me, the woman literally just gave their power up,
Yes. On
but
purpose.
they end up being the one that suffered because they became that backseat driver of their own life.
And that is what happened. And, 5,000 years ago, this was a matriarchal culture. The universe was run by women. And, we have let the masculine power take over, and we have lost our voice. We have lost our voice. You know, we,
Have we?
yeah,
We have.
we have lost our voice. And so that is why I'm doing this work, because what I saw in myself 6 years ago was a depleted, angry, bitter woman who wasn't taking care of herself and was giving her power away left and right. And
Mm.
the wolf, Carla, is the leader of the tribe. The wolf.
Yes. Why do you choose the? Why
Yeah.
did you choose wolf to
Okay.
be
So
part of that?
so I started pulling animal spirit cards every day a number of years back. And I kept pulling the wolf card. And, I would journal after I would pull these cards. And the wolf is the leader of the tribe, the leader of the family, the leader of the community. The wolf is an activist. The wolf wants change. The wolf wants to push more love into the world. The wolf is strong and badass and feminine. So the more I was pulling this card and the more I was looking at the women around me and noticing, wow, they're dead. Like I was dead.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They were
They're
like
just,
just walking around numb.
yeah. So I need to activate the people around me, ignite them. So that's why the wolf. And yeah, it's this thread that I've followed, and it feels good and it feels right.
It feels alive.
It feels alive. It feels me. It's not something that I necessarily, chose. I feel like it
Mhm.
was chosen for me almost. I actually have a funny story about how I started doing this work. I was in yoga teacher training, and we had to write several papers. And one of my papers was about being raised in an Italian American household, very patriarchal, very masculine, and how all of my power came from like how much weight I could lift, or how fast I could ski down the mountain, or how well I could keep up with my two older brothers.
The athlete. Hmm.
Yeah, the athlete, the badass, the doer, the achiever. I wanted to be a boy, really, because I
Mm.
wanted to be able to compete with my brothers. Um, and I wrote this paper about that, and how about slowing down and kind of accessing the feminine within myself. This feminine power is what was beginning to um,
Yeah.
shift my life. And my teacher said, she wrote on the paper, and I still have the paper. She wrote Dharma question mark, meaning, is this your life's purpose to teach this? And it just, I
Snapped into
thought,
place.
yeah, I thought, okay,
Yeah.
maybe other women need to hear this.
Because I'm sure you're not the only one who's been in a household, that felt that they had to compete for space. They had to compete or fight, right? It's almost like you're
Yes,
fighting to be recognized, fighting to be
yes,
noticed.
yes, 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 yes. And it's funny, the more women that I work with, I'm hearing the same things over and over again, and they're the same words I wrote in my journal 6 years ago. Was that I have everything I thought I wanted, but I'm not happy.
You're still seeking.
Yeah, I'm still
You were
seeking.
seeking, but only the only thing is you were seeking from the outside, but you didn't go on the inside.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
So what is your, if you, in to capsulate, it's like, what is your why? Why share this with other women? What inspires you to do this?
Um, the world where we are today, where we are today in the world. When I look around and I think about the leadership in our country and everything that's happening around us, I feel like the world is crumbling and it is not how it is supposed to be. Um, it is
It
not
is,
how
it is crumbling.
it is
It is
crumbling.
crumbling.
It is crumbling. It
It's
is,
crumbling.
yep. And I don't want this world for my children. I want my teenage daughters to see a woman who uses her own power to go out into the world and make change.
Yeah.
And
We're making some type of adjustment, looking for, I think the world has lost its way, but as you mentioned, and it's almost like it's lost its soul.
yes,
But the soulful side is a woman's side.
it is. It is.
So we as women, we need to find our way. And until
Yeah,
we, because at the end of the day, we're the one that we raise the next generation. So what we're looking at is our work or lack thereof it,
exactly. This is our mission.
whether we choose.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you have children, it is your job. It is your
Mm-hmm.
job to be raising the next generation to create the change we want to see. And it's an honor. I mean, there is so much power in raising children, right? We're raising activists. We're raising the people who are the leaders of the next generation. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I already see it in my children who are active in our local community. Like, we want change. And you know what? It starts with the moms. If we're
Mm-hmm.
not leading these kids, if we're not having the conversations, if we're not leading by example,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's going to happen. So,
But it's so important, as you mentioned, it's so important whether we choose to know it or not. We are raising them. It's just whether is it by design or by default. The
yes.
interesting thing is, a lot of times, and I've dealt with families for many years in my community. We can raise them wrong. We can raise them in a way that's skewed, and I wouldn't necessarily say wrong, but skewed,
Yes.
where certain perspectives are, traditionally passed down, whether commitment or excellence or, finding ways to skim people, whatever the case may be. A lot of those things sometimes are passed down, and so it's important, as you mentioned, to work on ourselves so that we can make the change, be able to see the change in the next generation. But we
Yeah,
are seeing a change. We are. It's not like we're not seeing it. We are seeing it.
we
We're
are.
we're literally watching ourselves in the mirror. That's what's happening.
And when you talk about like the next generation, you think about the generation that came before us. So I think it's our job as moms right now to cut off some of the
Hmm.
things that we've learned from our mothers who were awesome, but maybe weren't in the seat of their power, and to choose not to pass that on to the next generation.
It's a choice. It's a
It's
choice.
a
There's so
choice.
many things.
Like,
I mean, we can connect this to so many things, Natalie. I mean, whether it's cooking or how to raise your next daughter, how to
yes,
raise your son compared to your daughter. I mean, there is so
yes,
many. This can be applied so many different ways. So
absolutely.
it's a beautiful thing that you're doing, is to really help a woman identify with herself versus how the world sees her. That is so needed.
Yes, yes.
What have you seen? Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, no, please, please go.
No, I was saying, like, what have you seen when it comes to after someone has worked upon themselves, like the transformation that you've seen that has appeared from when a person starts this process
Mm.
of working and then being able to see it, what it impacts beyond themselves. Like, what have you seen? What have you witnessed with someone that you've
Yes.
seen gone through your process?
So it's interesting. Most women that I'm working with, the first thing that we talk about is their desires, what they want, right?
Mhm.
And if they have a partner, I ask them to share their desires with their partner, which is very scary. If you have
Mhm.
been with someone for, most of the women I work with, they've been with their partners for like 15 plus years. And to actually turn the tables, right? And start speaking from a place of desire to their partners. This is where like the first huge shifts. So yesterday I got a message from a woman who said,
Mhm.
she had wanted to, for a long time, kind of move out of the burbs and into the country. And she wanted to be like, oh God, what is the name of that woman who like is like Magnolia something? I don't know. I forget the name of this like woman who lives on a farm and has goats and things. Famous woman.
But she's not necessarily a farmer, but like you said, more in the countryside of things,
Yes. Yes.
close to the nature and yes, the
Yes.
beauty of the world, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So she got brave enough, and it takes such vulnerability, right,
Mm-hmm.
to kind of speak from your heart. She shared this with her husband, who was surprised because she had never shared this desire with him before. And within 2 weeks, they're like looking for homes in the country.
Wow.
And she's like, I, what she learned, and what every most women learn after working with me, is that their partners just want them to be happy and will really do anything to
Yeah, yeah,
please their partner. I
yeah.
mean, they want to serve you. You just have to learn how to speak your desires. So that's something that's right on my mind because it just happened.
It,
But
no,
otherwise,
it's a beautiful that you mentioned that because that's saying that imagine if more women spoke their desires over this world, prayed over this world, we
yes,
wouldn't be where we are.
no,
But we take these back steps. Um, I don't know if it's because it takes energy to stand next to your partner. No one's asking you to stand in front of the partner, but maybe it's more it's like almost a comfortability situation sometimes where it takes a lot of energy to be next to the partner. Maybe I'll just stay back and let the partner do everything and make all the decisions, and maybe
yes,
that makes me look more feminine, whatever the case may be. I'm too tired. I just work 3 jobs. I have 3 kids to take care of, and all those things kick in. And
right,
it's just let me just stay in the back, in the shadows. Really,
yes,
is
yeah,
that what you're seeing?
yeah. What I'm seeing a lot is that people don't value their desires.
Mm-hmm.
They don't value their desires. Like what you desire for your life is completely unique to you. It's completely unique to you. And something that I'm going to, talk a little spirit talk right now because that's just who I am. But I believe that your desires are like this thread to the divine, right? When you are living your desires, you are living the path of God, or the
Mm-hmm.
path of the way you should be living.
What you're created to be,
Yes.
who you are to be.
who you ought to be, who you ought to be.
Oh,
And
and
that's
you know who gets the closest to that?